All right, I hope everyone can hear me. It looks like we are going live. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I know some ads are playing right in front of me. I'm going to try to skip these. Hey, thank you back, Kuwan. Can everyone hear me okay? Is the audio coming in just fine and everything like that? Also, can you guys see the visual? I have a picture up there right now. So maybe if you guys could just give me a little bit of feedback on what's actually being shown on the stream side of things, that would be great. It might be a dark screen. Robin's stammering problem, that's something that you're going to probably want to, again, talk with your doctor about. Today we're here to talk about weight loss and energy boosting foods. So, I sort of want to keep it kind of connected to those issues. But with a stammering problem, I'm not sure how long you've had that for, or, just how severe it is. So, Robin, I would suggest that you speak with a medical practitioner regarding that problem. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking more about health, wellness, weight loss, energy boosting foods, and anything else that anyone has questions regarding that. I do appreciate the question, though, and I hope that it's all figured out for you. But welcome, everyone. Sorry I was a little bit late. I literally just got a video up in regards to coconut milk, so I was just kind of fixing that, getting all of that ready, and then I jumped on here and needed to figure out a couple things. So thank you so much for your patience, and I believe we are ready to begin. So thank you so much, everyone who's come in and join the chat. And thanks, Robin. Thank you for appreciating that. And like I said, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just someone who has a passion with researching nutrition, bettering people's health, putting as much healthy information as I can as possible, and doing the research from that. All right, Robin. So you're skinny fat. What are your goals? Let's talk about some goals. If you're skinny fat, see, this type of stuff is sort of right up my alley. We can talk about different types of foods that can help with that, but it's really important for me to know your goal. If you're skinny fat, do you want to put on muscle? Do you want to lose fat? Robin, do you work out at all? And what's your diet like? Those would be the two most important things that I would ask if you're suffering. And it's not even really suffering from skinny fat. It's just something that you're going through and that you want to change. So I would take the word suffering right out of it. There's a lot of people who kind of have that connotation of being skinny fat. It's something that I'm suffering through. I know you want to change it, and there's things that we can definitely do to change that. So tell me a little bit more about your diet. What your exercise is like, what your activities are like. Only studies, so you're in school. Okay, so if you're skinny fat, one of the best things to do is just start out by eating a good amount of protein. And there's tons of options out there, and we've been through them in a lot of videos. and your clean proteins, things like chicken, things like turkey. If you're vegan, there's a bunch of other things. Eggs I really like, very high bioavailability of protein, so that just means you're absorbing a lot of the protein from eggs. Whey protein would be your highest, but not everyone is a big fan of whey protein. So eggs are always a good substitute for that. There's also egg protein, which you could also incorporate into that as well. So when it comes to skinny fat, the most important thing is that you are eating less calories, so you're in a calorie deficit in comparative of what it would be for moderation. So let's say for you to maintain weight, you have to eat 2,000 calories. You would want to drop that underneath 2,000. I like to recommend something along the lines of 250 to a 500 calorie surplus. Any food to increase height? Not at all. Not that I've read. That's an easy one. I think just eating healthy, well-balanced diet is going to help for sure with that. You want to get your micronutrients, your macronutrients in order, but there's no quick fix to increasing height, that's for sure. Especially considering, I don't know how old you are, Robin, but there's a certain point that we get to, and height just stops. So there's nothing we can do about it. It's just biological. Hey, no problem, Robin. I appreciate you coming in and asking your questions. And so, skinny fat, don't be too hard on yourself. You're actually in a good position because you can lose fat. I don't know if you want to put on, so age 22, you're not going to really add on too much height. I wouldn't worry about that too much. But for skinny fat, I'd say you're in a good position. You can lose fat. I know you're probably living more of a sedentary lifestyle since you are studying. But just clean up the diet, maybe add in try to figure out, there's a calculator. It's not the best. It's TDEE. So T for Tim, D for diet, E for exercise, and E for electrolytes, let's just say. I talked about that in my video today. So TDEE calculator, where you can sort of figure out how many calories you should be eating to maintain your weight. If you want to lose half a pound a week, things like that. So you might want to look into that as well. Very good morning to you, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. Hope everything was good for it. So even though we're focusing on weight loss and energy boosting foods, I think go hand in hand together, because if you're trying to lose weight, you are probably in a calorie surplus, or, you're having more, if you're working out and things like that, that will sort of zap you of some energy. It'll give you that increase in energy right off the bat, but throughout the day you might start to feel a little bit more tired, especially if you're new to working out. So I think energy boosting foods go very well hand in hand with a weight loss program, and I've just seen a lot of studies with that and my own experience with working with clients in that matter. So with that said, we are focusing on that, but feel free to ask your questions again, guys. Feel free to ask, any questions that pop into your mind as well. I don't want to limit you guys on questions that you might be wanting to ask. So that's why I put "and more" in the title as well. So you can ask anything to do with weight loss. I know it's that January time. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions. A lot of people have been in lockdown for a really long time, maybe put on a little bit of weight, maybe more sedentary. So I want to kind of have a nice discussion regarding those types of things as well. And don't be too hard on yourself. It's very tough, especially if you don't have equipment at home, or if you're in lockdown and you can't really go too many places. Walks are sort of your main thing. My main suggestion to you guys is just to make sure that you're not too hard on yourself. Make sure your mental is just as strong as your physical. That's awesome. Rebounder is great, Tammy. I do the same thing. Sometimes I'll get on a rower and that'll give me a nice boost of energy. I keep it at a low intensity, so I don't do what's called HIIT training, so high intensity interval training. I'll try to keep it kind of a more sustained cardio, where I'm on there for about 30, 45 minutes. And then that's going to give me a nice little boost of energy. And you start in studies, they show that anything from 30 to 35 minutes, possibly even as high as up to 45 minutes, you will get that little boost of energy, as long as it's not too intense. If it's too intense, then you really need to make sure the diet is on track. You really need to make sure sleep, nutrition, vitamin supplementation is up there as well. Yeah, Robin, I totally understand. So your weight is 64 kilograms, I'm guessing, and you have belly fat. All right. So what I said before holds true. You're going to want to eat a clean diet. You're going to want to have, your protein. Protein's important. Fats, definitely important. And then healthy carbohydrates. It's as simple as that. And then lots of veggies, good fibrous fruits, and then you'll be just fine. You'll be on your way. If there's any other questions, again, with energy boosting foods, there's so many energy boosting foods out there. We've seen so many studies with beets. Beets is a really big one, just increasing physical performance and energy. And I've done a few videos on that. So a lot of people will consume it before and after their workouts. Bananas are another great one because of their high potassium. So you get a good jump start on your recovery right after your workout. So great energy boosting food. And then, your post-workout meal is important as well. A well-balanced meal with protein and everything like that. So I juice beets as well, Tammy. I'll juice them, or we'll have to boil them just to make sure that they're soft enough to eat, because obviously if you try to eat a raw beet, it can be quite tough, and it's not very, I don't find them very satisfying to eat. They're not my favorite food when it comes to just eating raw or anything like that. So I'll steam them sometimes, boil them, and oftentimes juice them. Now, you brought up a very interesting point, Tammy, with losing belly fat and starving. Okay, so and we hear this all the time. To lose belly fat, you really have to cut down on calories. What the evidence is showing, and it has for quite some time, and I'm not coming at you and saying, this is something that you should be knowing right off the bat, because this is stuff that we hear all the time, the detox diets and everything like that. But to actually lose belly fat, we need calories. We need healthy calories. We need complete proteins, complex carbs, healthy fats, vegetables, all that stuff I always preach to you guys. Because if we go into starvation mode, your body is going to realize that. And if we're in starvation mode, your body says, okay, I'm not getting enough calories. I'm going to hold on to as much fat as possible because I'm not getting those calories. I'm in starvation mode. All right. So a lot of the time, to lose belly fat, we actually have to eat. All right. We can't be scared of food. Concentrate on healthy foods. So many times we've been, programmed to think that the fewer calories we eat, the better it is for weight loss, when a lot of the times it's actually the opposite. We need to eat. We can't be scared of food. We need to keep focusing on eating those healthy foods to get the most results losing weight. All right, especially if you have like a weight loss program. You said you got on your rebounder. If you're getting on your rebounder, you're burning even more calories. So getting those calories in becomes even more important. All right, because you don't really want to be in starvation mode. And to be honest, how long are you going to be able to sustain a starvation type diet? And by starvation type diet, I mean something like being in a calorie deficit of 1,000 pounds. Not pounds, 1,000 calories or 1,500 calories. It's just not possible. We're not going to be able to sustain that. And we're not going to be healthy doing that. Micronutrients are going to be very low if we're not eating. That's another point I kind of want to go on, maybe a little bit of a rant as well. If we're trying to lose weight, we really want to focus on calorie-dense foods. That's going to give you the most bang for your buck because you are in a calorie deficit. So the more nutrients we can get in from healthy foods, the better it is. Robin, hot water can't reduce belly fat? there has been studies where green tea, even though you might have to drink quite a bit of it, due to a compound known as EGCG, can help boost metabolism. Lemon water also has been well studied for losing belly fat. But again, I want to emphasize to you guys, and the reason why I wanted to have this discussion is I wouldn't focus 100% on just doing those things. If it was that easy, everyone would be drinking lemon water and everyone would be drinking green tea every day just to lose belly fat. So pickled beets are actually very good as well, Tammy. I haven't had them in a while, but when I did, I definitely did enjoy pickled beets, so that's great. Kuan, sorry, I think maybe I missed your question up here. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to keep up with all the questions. Is beans of all kinds good for gut health? I'm a little concerned about the gas it produces. Okay, that's a good question. For gut health and digestion, I would say yes, and here's the reason why. Beans are an excellent source of dietary fiber, soluble, insoluble fiber. The more fiber that we eat, the better. We don't want to overdo it, but if we can keep it at a healthy, I think it's around 30 grams is what's often suggested per day. Usually we do go over that, I'll be honest. It's very easy to get 30 grams of fiber into our diet, especially if we're eating healthy, especially if you're eating things like beans and lentils. So it is good for gut health, and it will feed that good bacteria, that good gut flora that we want. That's almost essential for gut health. Okay, because if we're not having a good gut flora or good gut bacteria, we're missing out on so many of the benefits of gut health. We're not absorbing as many nutrients. There's a lot of digestive ailments that can pop up, constipation, irregular bowel movements, things like that. So yes, I would say beans are definitely good for gut health. Just again, don't overdo it. Everything in moderation. There's tons of fiber in that, and you're going to be getting tons of fiber throughout the day. So I love beans for gut health as well. Any type of bean, it could be black beans, pinto beans, red kidney beans, all very much the same. And then you got your lentils, legumes, things like that. Early. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong there. I do appreciate the question. Thank you so much. Should probiotics be taken daily? Excellent question. I'm assuming you're talking about a probiotic supplement? If you are, it is often recommended that the probiotic supplement be taken daily. You can get away with taking it every other day, as long as your diet is healthy and full of healthy foods. I myself, I'll tell you, take a probiotic every other day. Sometimes it can be every day, just depending on how my digestion is feeling. We can all get bloating, things like that. Let's just be honest, that stuff happens. If I'm feeling bloated or my digestion is a little bit off, or even constipation, things like that, I will take a probiotic. You sort of get that backed up feeling, if you know what I mean. Maybe we've experienced that as well. So probiotics, they can be taken daily, and oftentimes on a probiotic supplement, they will recommend that you take it daily. But you know what? Every other day is just fine as well. But I kind of go back and forth. The important thing is you're taking it consistently. And as Tammy said too, if you're having yogurt, you got those active probiotic cultures in yogurt. Usually I would go with the plain yogurt. That seems to be the best bang for your buck with that as well. So yogurt is a good one, and even prebiotics with sauerkraut and all of that good stuff. And guys, all this is going to help with weight loss too. Let's not forget. So we'll throw it back. And energy boosting. They say your gut is like your second brain. So if you're have healthy gut flora and you have a healthy gut and digestive system, just think of all that extra energy because you're absorbing those nutrients. You're absorbing B vitamins, big time for energy boosting. You're absorbing, magnesium, vitamin C, all that important stuff that can help boost. And even minerals, like you even got like your potassiums, iron, zinc, things like that. So it's important that we have a healthy gut flora, and our digestive system is working properly so we can eliminate wastes that are going to zap you of your energy. So great question, Early. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you very much. And I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. Should whey protein be taken every day? So should it be taken daily? And very interesting, Robin. I think that depends on your goals. And whey protein I always consider to be a supplement. I'd always recommend actually getting high quality protein from actual protein sources like your chicken, your eggs. Beans are fine too. Again, beans aren't a complete protein. They don't have quite all of the amino acids that like your chicken and turkey would have. But again, it just depends on your goals. So if you want to increase or you're having a hard time hitting your protein macros, then whey protein can be taken daily. Again, a lot of people will sort of overthink with the whey protein. Again, I consider whey protein just another protein source. Treat it just like any other food. If I'm taking whey protein or things like that, I think it's a great supplement. So it can be taken daily, but I would recommend getting actual sources of protein like your chickens and things like that. So excellent question. Thank you very much. Early. Okay. Thank you, Early. I appreciate that. And thank you for pointing that out. Sometimes some of the names can be a little bit hard for me with the pronunciation. All right, Papa. So, remind me a little bit of Papa. I don't think I've ever done a video on Papa. I have read about it. I believe it's a fruit. Sort of a large fruit, if I'm not mistaken. Very similar to, is it similar to papaya or anything like that? I'm not sure why it would be causing constipation, but it sounds like an interesting combination, pawpaw with a little bit of lime. Are you having pawpaw juice or juicing it? I think that would be my next question, because if you're juicing it, you might not be getting the full fiber effects of it. But let me know if it's close to papaya. That might be a video idea in the future that I might have, because that sounds very interesting. Robin, my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in. I do appreciate it, and I hope you have a good night as well. And cheers from me to you all the way in India. Thank you so much for coming in. Just squeeze a little into it. Okay. It'd be interesting. Did you notice the constipation as soon as you started eating pawpaw with lime? Or did you kind of have it before? Because we kind of got to narrow it down maybe just a little bit to see if it's actually the pawpaw and the lime that's actually causing that. If you're squeezing it in, the lime's going to give you some good dietary fiber, maybe even a little bit of pectin, not as much as lemons, which is great for digestion. So I'd be very interested to see, kind of narrow it down, Kuwan. A natural appetite suppressant. The first one that jumps to mind is coffee. Actually, caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. So a lot of people who are dieting will have coffee to kind of quench the appetite and to satiate themselves. Another natural appetite suppressant, if you're not a big caffeine fan, is actually water. And we might have talked about this a little bit a couple days ago. Geez, time's flying. I can't remember if it was a day ago or a couple days ago. But a lot of the times, when we're feeling those hunger pains or we're feeling hungry, a lot of the time it has to do with actually being dehydrated. I think the best natural appetite suppressant is just making sure you're eating high fiber foods that are giving you quality micronutrients. Because a lot of times, and again, there's been some studies that show when we lack nutrients, so if we're not getting our vitamins, our minerals, our antioxidants, all that important stuff, then our body will start craving it and we'll start getting those hunger pains or those feelings of hunger. So I would just say concentrate on eating your fiber and things like that. Your vegetables, leafy green vegetables, are a great sort of natural appetite suppressant. You can eat raw broccoli and feel very satisfied after consuming that. Same thing with raw cauliflower. Even with bell peppers, I find are a good natural antisuppressant. Even nuts and seeds, in moderation, of course, because you're getting a ton of fiber and you're getting healthy fats. Protein as well. Protein, healthy fats, and fiber are almost your trifecta for keeping satiated. That's why I'll usually start my meals with a protein and a fat. Not that I'm against carbohydrates, but it satiates me throughout the morning. It's not spiking my blood sugar, so I'm not getting that crash. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of ideas, Tammy. Natural appetite suppressant, I would just stick to those micronutrient foods, maybe moderate healthy fats, and make sure your water intake is nice and high. Just squeeze a little into it. I'm surprised then, Kuan, that it actually is giving you some constipation. Maybe just keep playing around with it. See if it gets better. Your body might be adjusting a little bit to it. I haven't had too much experience with lime or anything like that causing constipation. And again, I could be wrong with that. And again, to be honest, pawpaw is not one of those foods that I've had a whole great deal of experience with. Papaya, yes, and I believe that they're very similar. But just kind of keep playing around with that and try to narrow down if it's actually the pawpaw and the lime that's causing the constipation for you. It'd sort of be interesting to see what the other foods in your diet are like. Okay, great, Tammy. I hope that helps. Again, if there was one type of food that we could eat where our appetite is satiated and we're good to go and we're totally, our natural appetite is totally suppressed, there'd be a supplement out there where people would be making lots and lots of money off that. But I think just a well-balanced diet full of micronutrients, maybe even some supplements, nothing crazy. I don't overdo it with the supplements. I try to get it from Whole Foods, but sometimes supplements can be important as well. And when we're craving those micronutrients, that's when we can start to get those hunger pains. And again, water. Water is huge. When I work with clients, I'm shocked. I never judge. It's not a judging thing. I'm just shocked at the amount of water most people are drinking. Okay, so I drink anywhere from 64 ounces of water to even more, and most people aren't even getting about 8 ounces of water per day. So if they're not doing that, for one, you're going to be dehydrated. You're probably going to be a little bit more hungry. I always ask them, well, are you feeling more hungry throughout the day? And it's usually a yes, not always, but it is usually a yes, because they'll start to feel those hunger pains because they're dehydrated throughout the day. So keeping hydrated is another great way to maybe naturally suppress appetite just a little bit, at least until you can get to your next meal. Can you guys actually see the foods picture that I put up? Because I know last time it was a black screen and dark, and I would like to, now that I've been able to figure out actually how to get on here and stream, I want to focus on the details and everything like that. So it would be nice to kind of have that background for you guys. Hey, good morning, John. I'm doing great. How are you doing today? Had a great start to the morning. Got a video up having to do with coconut milk, so that was great. Had a lot of fun researching that. So I was glad to get that up, and hopefully you guys can take some benefit from that video. Again, in moderation. I mentioned that in the video as well. You don't have to be drinking a ton of coconut milk to get those benefits from it. So if you watch that video, you will hear me say even a quarter cup to half a cup max, especially if you're consuming it regularly. Thank you, Tammy. All right, good. I'm glad that it's up because I like having that visual up and everything like that. So thank you very much for the feedback, guys. But yes, good morning to you, John. I'm glad everything's going well and that you're having a great day. Great Sunday, right? It's one of those Sundays where we can kind of rest and hopefully refuel a little bit, maybe do some meal prep, focus on that a little bit. Okay, high cholesterol. Kuan, I'm going to address your question here. Just give me a second to read it. So you have high cholesterol, I believe you're saying. Or maybe it runs in your family. Ginger, garlic, honey. I'm not putting up weight. Love drinking plenty of water. So the only thing there that I would be concerned with, even mildly concerned with putting on weight, is just the honey. Ginger won't really do that for you. Garlic, very low in calories, just because ginger and garlic are very low in calories. Honey, we have to remember, yes, it does have tremendous health benefits. Anything from antioxidants, heart health, antibacterial benefits, and more. So honey is great. As I always point out in my honey videos, again, you can get those benefits from raw organic honey, so none of that pasteurized stuff that's full of sugar, or at least added sugar, I should say. If you're sticking to that, maybe even like a teaspoon to a tablespoon max, I think you're fine with exactly what you're eating right there. And ginger and garlic, very heart healthy. And can really help with bringing down cholesterol levels. We see studies where HDL cholesterol, or LDL cholesterol, I apologize, bad LDL cholesterol, can be brought down by eating those types of foods, especially garlic. Garlic is one of those very heart-healthy foods, and there's so many of them too. There's so many heart-healthy foods out there. Ginger and garlic are some of my favorites. And then you're doing everything right too. Plenty of water. And the thing that I like about garlic and is kind of nice for overall heart health is it has those sulfur compounds in it. Those bioactive compounds and sulfur compounds. And so does ginger as well. Ginger is very high in bioactive compounds, plant compounds, things that we don't get from a lot of other foods. So that's what I like to point out in my videos. That's why I'm such a big fan of ginger and of garlic. Yesterday I had both. Actually not ginger, but I definitely had quite a bit of garlic. Onions is what I was sort of thinking of, sort of the same family as garlic. So I think what you're doing is great. Just keep the honey in moderation, because again, we have to remember that it's a sugar substitute at the end of the day. But it does have way more health benefits than honey. Allicin, exactly. That's the bioactive compound in it. So you're 100% right. Allicin, you nailed it. And you'll hear me say that in every single one of my videos on the topic. Allicin is great, a great even antioxidant, bioactive substance. So love allicin, love garlic, love ginger, all that stuff is great. Onions are great as well. Onions, exactly the same thing from the garlic family. So a very, very, very big fan of onions. And like I said, I had onions and garlic yesterday with chicken. So those are foods that not only do I recommend, but I also consume myself. So I kind of do what I preach, so to speak. Hey, good morning, Joshua. Good to see you in chat. Thank you so much for coming on in Always appreciated, my friend. Okay, yes, diabetic. Type 2 diabetes, John, or type 1? If you don't mind saying, you don't have to answer. I'm just sort of wondering off the top of my head, because those blood sugar regulating foods are obviously important for you and stuff like that. Yeah, turmeric, like I said, I think I was even saying last stream, turmeric is definitely one of my favorite spices. Pretty much have that every single day. I add it to my smoothies. And I'm the type of person where I actually like the taste of turmeric. I think it's just the health taste of it. But again, turmeric is one of the healthiest spices, if not the healthiest spices, up there with cumin, all that different stuff. Yeah, cinnamon's a great one too. Cinnamon is very good for regulating blood sugar, insulin resistance, all of that stuff. I like Ceylon cinnamon if I was going to recommend one. And of course, John, speak with your doctor. Again, I'm just passionate about researching nutrition. Been doing it for a number of years now, if you've seen the videos. But of course, type 2 diabetes, chronic diseases like that, you need to speak with your medical practitioner. I'm sure you're doing that quite often. But yes, cinnamon, turmeric, cinnamon. Trust me, they're both in my pantry, and it's Ceylon cinnamon, and I love Ceylon cinnamon. I add it to a ton of stuff. Again, to my smoothie. It's so funny, everything that I add to my smoothie, especially if it's low calorie stuff like that. Like turmeric, very low calorie. Cinnamon, very low calorie. I'll add, what else will I add? There's a greens. For some reason, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, that's going to bother me. But it doesn't matter. It's very healthy. Tons of nutrients in it. And it's very low in calories. I wish I could. Oh, yes. Okay, I remember it now. Corolella. Sometimes I have funny saying that. I remember doing a video on that, and man, it took me forever to voice over. Chlorella, I believe it's pronounced. Chorella, I believe it's spelled. Chlorella powder. So I'm certainly adding that to a lot of my smoothies. So it might not be the best tasting, but I don't really care when it comes to taste. As long as it tastes healthy, like you get that taste, and you taste turmeric, you taste that green, you taste the broccoli and all that stuff, spinach, then you know it's healthy. And I absolutely love having those powders in there. Oh yes, Joshua, I know what you're Corella. I think maybe we're thinking about the something different, but it's Chlorella for the Corella. I keep messing that up. I've always had trouble saying that. Yep, Swiss chard is great as well. Spinach is great as well. Any greens. Play around with the greens, guys. Weight loss, absolutely. It's going to help. Low calorie, high nutrient dense foods. Those are going to be your go-tos for anything with weight loss, anything with energy boosting as well. So I'll bring it back a little bit to the title. The reason why I'm so big on these nutrient dense foods is, as I sort of mentioned before, when you're trying to lose weight, again, there's no magic pill that you can take. It's calories in versus calories out a lot of the times. You'll see videos out there where it's like, eat this one food and lose belly fat. Yes, it can help, but there's a lot of other things that you're going to have to do as well. Like eating a balanced diet, eating a deficit of calories, being active, trying to get, even a 20-minute walk a day is going to help. Broccoli is more calcium than milk. Yes, very high in calcium, very high in vitamin C. Broccoli is one of those foods that is tremendously high in a bunch of different vitamins and minerals, high in fiber, sulfur, I believe, compounds as well. So broccoli is like the holy grail. And I'm fortunate because I like raw broccoli, so I can just grab broccoli and just eat it. Don't need any of like those high calorie dips or anything like that. I can just eat raw broccoli on its own. I'll usually have it as a side. I'm the same with kale. Kale's another good one. We mentioned Swiss chard and spinach. Kale is another one of my favorite things to add to my smoothies. I haven't so much yet. It's hard to find kale these days. I don't know if it's maybe because of the lockdown, or I don't know what it is. But if I do find it, it's quite expensive as well. Hey, my pleasure, Kuwan. It really is a pleasure for me, and that's why I really want to do these streams. I feel like these streams are going to be my go-to for 2021, so I can, keep this sort of interactive. It's way better than just doing the videos and commenting on the comments that you guys leave, and always great comments. I appreciate that. It's so much easier to have actual dialogue than it is to actually reply to comments. Marcia, your eyes keep paining you. Okay, well that's I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not sure in what way. That could be anything from like dry eyes to just a dull pain. So I'm not exactly sure what sort of pain that you're going through. My best advice to you would be to speak with your medical practitioner. When it comes to that type of stuff, we do not want to see eye pain, especially if it's chronic, so you've been dealing with it for a while. So make sure that you do speak to your medical practitioner, and I'm sorry to hear that. Cassava and its leaves. I have done cassava, that's for sure. I've definitely done cassava videos. Have I videos? That's a good question. I don't believe that I have. That's something that actually sounds quite interesting to me. I really like doing these leaf videos because we often forget just how much of these fruits and vegetables, how much nutritional value is actually in the leaves of the fruit and the vegetables as well. So that's something I'll definitely look into, Kuwan. But I have done cassava, absolutely. I always like doing those videos that you don't see every day, but are actually quite popular. You don't see a ton of these videos on YouTube, maybe because they're not as popular. Some people will be less inclined to do them because of views and stuff like that. For me, it doesn't really matter. I just put it out there for people to enjoy. So I have done cassava. You can definitely search that up. But I don't think I've done the leaves, so that might be an inch. You guys are giving me great ideas for videos. We got black rice, we got cassava leaves. There was something else that I had written down that someone else gave me a good idea on what to. Tendon health. I love that. With my background, tendon and bone health. Be on the lookout for a bone health video, and be on the lookout for tendon health video. We also often talk about, arthritis and joint pain and stuff like that. But I figure, hey, let's talk about tendons, bones, things like that. So we'll definitely make sure that we get to that. And John, you agree with kale? Yeah, kale is one of those great leafy green vegetables, up there with spinach. Super high in vitamin K, super high in nutrients. One of my favorite green leafy vegetables, and again, I'm so lucky that I can just add it to my salad and I enjoy eating it. I even eat it raw, to be honest with you guys. I can just have it as a side and I'll just pick at it. When it comes to diet, things like that, I don't really compromise on. I'll make sure that I get those types of leafy green vegetables in. It doesn't really matter to me if it's in some sort of a recipe. Now, I'm not saying you guys have to do that. You guys have it how you enjoy it. As long as you're getting it in, then that's the important part. But for me, I just like to get it in, and I'm fortunate enough that I can actually eat it raw. So now let's talk a little bit about energy boosting foods. Especially in this lockdown, I've heard from clients, I've gotten messages from people in regards to just having low energy. And it makes sense because we're a lot less active now. We're sort of in the doldrums of winter, and I think that's an appropriate word for it. Literally the doldrums. I don't know if you guys are aware of what doldrums actually means, but it has to do with sailing, and it's when the wind completely stops, so we're kind of just stalled and not really moving forward. So, energy is a lot lower. We're not getting vitamin D and things like that. B vitamins can be a little bit lower. So I really like B vitamins for energy. So foods that are high in B vitamins, and there's so many, like niacin, pantothenic acid, vitamin B6, are all great ones. So if you guys want to have a conversation about that, vitamin B6 is one of the, even vitamin B12, to be honest. Maybe we should talk about vitamin B12 foods. Vitamin B12 is one of the, and I think with iron, is one of the more common vitamin deficiencies. Now, a lot of the times with vitamin B12, if you're not a meat eater and you're more vegetarian and sort of vegan, you might have to supplement with it just a little bit to be able to get that. Ooh, collard greens, Tammy. There's another one, another good green. Good for you. And John, I agree. Raw is definitely my choice. And it's just so much easier. I don't have to prepare it. I can literally just, put a bunch on a plate, put a bunch in a salad, and then just eat it from there. But yes, collard greens, absolutely. Collard greens, anything like that are tremendous. I actually really like snow peas, I believe most people know them as. Artichokes I love. But cabbage, let's not forget about cabbage, another prebiotic type food. Really love cabbage. Cabbage is a great one. I don't eat it as often as maybe I should, I'll be honest, because there's only so much you can fit in a diet, right? So never be hard on yourself if you're not getting all these different foods. I mean, I'm putting videos up on all these different foods, but if you're not getting all of them, I mean, don't worry. If you're having your spinach, your kale, your broccoli, other leafy green vegetables that we've sort of gone over, you're doing a good job. And then maybe if you can fit cabbage in there every now and then, even better. But I'm super, super big on the leafy green vegetables and vegetables overall, and big on protein as well. Like I sort of mentioned to you guys before, especially for weight loss. Now, it would be interesting to hear sort of, how active everyone is, especially in this lockdown. I feel like during this lockdown, activity levels have just dropped off tremendously. And, that can, again, lead to weight gain or a lot of trouble with maintaining healthy weight. And again, I see it with my clients all the time. And again, don't be hard on yourself. You guys, if that's something that you're going through, trust me, I think I can't put a percentage on it, but it's a large percentage of people who are going through that exact same thing. Just because of the lack of actually being active. And when we're not active or we're sort of in those doldrums, that's when we can sort of lead to those sort of habits of maybe indulging at nighttime, or maybe our diet isn't quite what we want it to be. So don't be too hard on yourself. Kuwan, is okra good? Excellent question. I love okra, to be honest. And again, I don't eat it as often as possible, and I've done videos on it. But okra, very nutritious. What's it called? Ladyfinger? Known as the ladyfinger, I believe. So great plant, great vegetable. I know it's packed with healthy vitamins. I believe B vitamins as well. So thanks for bringing that up. I know it can be quite high in B vitamins as well, but even more important, you got your potassium for recovery. Off the top of my head, I do believe that it's high in vitamin C, and it's very low in calories and high in fiber. Some people had mentioned, or we had been talking a little bit about weight loss foods. I like it as a weight loss food because it's not going to increase your blood sugar that much. And the reason why I keep harping back to blood sugar, if you start your day or even have an afternoon, people will kind of grab those cookies or something quick. That's when you're going to spike that blood sugar. And then guess what's going to happen? Probably about an hour later, you're going to start to feel that crash. All right, that blood sugar level is going to spike, and then you're going to crash. So with okra, you can definitely prevent that because it is high in fiber, and often can be good for your heart as well. So Kuan, I guess the short answer to your question is yes, okra is good. Okra is one of those foods that I would certainly enjoy and have enjoyed in the past. I might have even added it to a smoothie. Now, I don't know if I would juice it just because you're losing on those really good fiber levels. But yeah, if you can eat it sort of raw or even a smoothie is fine, then yes, absolutely. Okra is one of those important green vegetables. Hi, Peep. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. So what do I think about turmeric? Excellent question. We talked about turmeric a little bit, but let me rehash because I don't think we can talk about turmeric enough and how much I love turmeric. I recommend it to a lot of clients. I believe turmeric is one of the healthiest spices, if not the healthiest spice that you can eat. So many benefits. One of the best anti-inflammatory spices out there, even one of the best anti-inflammatory foods, period, that you can consume. So I've talked about this in videos, but if you didn't know, it's high in curcumin. And curcumin gives you a lot of those anti-inflammatory benefits. I do believe it also has very powerful and potent antioxidant benefits as well. And turmeric is a great thing too because it can increase the antioxidant capacity of your body. So that's very important because there's not a lot of foods, especially spices, that are able to do that. So that's just one great thing. One of the best anti-inflammatory foods. And anti-inflammatory foods are very important because they're going to get rid of free radicals, oxidative stress. And so by doing that, you're going to be preventing or have a good chance of preventing certain chronic diseases and infections. So it's going to pay dividends as we start to get older, as we start to go down the road. Those anti-inflammatory benefits and antioxidant benefits are going to pay dividends. And not only that, turmeric, from the studies I've read too, is also, and I believe it might be the curcumin, can cross the blood-brain barrier. So we're even starting to see some benefits with cognitive health as well. So cognitive health heart health, things like that. Very good for heart health. So just so many good things with turmeric. I'm a very big fan. I have it pretty much every day. I like to throw it in my smoothies. Sometimes I'll even be bold and just throw it in a glass of water, mix it up, and drink it that way. So excellent question, Peep. I am a very big fan of turmeric, if that wasn't clear with my answer. But thank you so much for the question. Hey, no problem, Kuan. That's a good question. Okra, it's not something that you hear a lot. I still remember my first okra video and being very surprised at the reception that it received. Just with how popular that it actually was. Like the food, a lot of people do enjoy okra, and I still remember making that video, and it was years ago. So that's funny that you brought up okra, and yes, I very much enjoy it. Great for diabetes, or has the potential to help with diabetes. So yes, great. So I think with your energy boosting foods, again, I would just harp back to, those nutrient dense foods like your turmerics, your okra, your cabbage, things like that, guys. At the end of the day, you really want to keep it simple. You don't have to go out there and, break the bank on adding all these different foods to your diet, all these things that you never really heard of before, or the new fad that's in and stuff like that. So Yeah, keep it simple. You got a lot of the times, in the videos I talk about, I think this week I talked a little bit about blueberries, pears. I've done egg videos, just off the top of my head. Today was a coconut milk, so that might be a little bit more of a niche video, but even still, I really like it. So with squash, all right, Tammy. So with squash, do I like squash? Excellent question. Now, are you referring to butternut squash? I believe that you probably are. Again, you guys are bringing up excellent foods because yes, I do very much like squash. The nutritional value in squash is just unbelievable. I remember doing the research, and just half a cup to 1 cup, low in calories, super high in fiber, incredibly high in vitamin A, so beta carotene, and incredibly high in vitamin C too. So excellent antioxidants right there. And the good thing about squash as well, and I'm talking about butternut squash, so I hope that's sort of what you're referring to as well. That seems to be the most popular. There's other types, but they're not really the most popular ones, and a little bit harder to find. And the good thing about butternut squash is it has such a wide range of vitamins and minerals. So you're not just getting vitamins or the antioxidants I just referred to. You got magnesium, potassium, even vitamin E. So again, another antioxidant, I believe, is quite high. And then also coming back to energy boosting foods, it's super high in B vitamins. So all squash are pretty much the same then, Tammy. Especially like yellow, those yellowish squash, like a butternut squash and things like that. You're going to get very similar nutrients and micronutrients with those. So I am a big fan, and I do like the B vitamins that are found in squash. Same thing with like a sweet potato, with the beta carotene. Very good for energy boosting. What do you think? Sorry, Kuwan, what do you think about... Oh, mushrooms. Okay. Mushrooms I'm a fan of. Mushrooms I am definitely a fan of. I eat mushrooms almost every day. I usually add it to eggs. Some solid protein in there. Not quite the nutritional value in mushrooms, but it is like a fungi. So they present their own benefits. Very high in antioxidants, and like I said, protein. That's why I add them to the eggs and stuff like that. And also with certain types of mushrooms, you're going to be sort of helping with eliminating or decreasing your chances of chronic disease as well. So mushrooms are great. I would continue with mushrooms and keep those as not a staple, but add them in every now and then. And I believe they also have good heart health benefits as well. So mushrooms are on my thumbs up list. Ah, Tammy, yes. Brussels sprouts, awesome. On another green vegetable. See these? There's so many green vegetables out there that we have so much choice, guys. So much choice. And Brussels sprouts and all these green vegetables. Let's bring it back to the title. All these green vegetables, tremendous for weight loss. Why? Nutrient dense, low in calories, high in fiber. So they're going to keep you satiated. So I really love those leafy green vegetables when it comes to weight loss. So awesome. And drizzled in raw organic honey, you get a little bit of the benefits of the honey, as long as it's kept in moderation, of course. But raw organic honey, as you guys know, and if you've seen the videos, and as I just kind of explained to Peep, or sorry, not to Peep, it might have been the other stream, but just how much I do like raw organic honey, none of the pasteurized stuff. So Brussels sprouts, great one. Brussels sprouts, great one, and they're fairly easy, and you can kind of add them to a bunch of different recipes as well. So if you're not a huge fan of eating Brussels sprouts raw, and maybe not a lot of us are, you can add them to a bunch of different recipes, or come up with recipes where they're very healthy and things like that. I should also say, for weight loss, I am a very big fan of not only having nutrient-dense foods, but I am a big believer and a big fan of eating your calories and not drinking your calories. Okay? Water, obviously, is an exception, not very high in calories. Green tea, great thing for some weight loss, for energy boosting. So again, not high in calories. But once you start adding those high-calorie drinks, they add up so fast, and there's not a ton of nutritional value in them, that I'm really just not a fan. I can't even tell you the last time that I had, say, like a fruit juice or a soda or anything like that. I have had diet soda very rarely. But I'm just not a fan of the sugary drinks. Again, I've said this before. Sugar is it just does not sit well with my body. Ginger root. So that's a good question. We talked a little bit about ginger before. Tremendous health benefits. Even I really like ginger tea. There's quite a few videos on the channel that talk about ginger and ginger root, same thing. But the thing I really like about ginger, and I'm just going off the top of my head here, it contains a very powerful sort of like medicinal property, because it contains a compound, and again, very specific to ginger itself, known as gingerol. So that's the main bioactive compound that's actually found in ginger. And what's so good about gingerol, very powerful anti-inflammatory effects and antioxidant effects. So again, those are the two that are going to help stop and potentially prevent chronic disease later on down the road. So that's one great thing to ginger root. It can help with weight loss, potentially. So that's another good thing, especially coming back to our weight loss title. It can be good for bone health, but I haven't seen too many studies with bone root and bone health, but apparently it is good. And then lastly, with ginger and ginger root, I really like it for its digestion benefits. So it can really help with indigestion. It can help with stomach pain and things like that. And again, if we're increasing the benefits of digestion, increasing that good gut health, increasing good gut flora, good gut bacteria, then, we're off and running, because as I said before, the gut is like your second brain. So lots of benefits with ginger root, something that I would always have. And again, I do believe that it can help with heart health too, which is another good benefit to it. Potentially, I'm not sure about blood pressure, or I know with the anti-inflammatory benefits, absolutely it's going to help with heart health, lower the risk of heart disease. But I believe it may have benefits having to do with lowering cholesterol. I'm not sure if it's a significant decrease, but I do believe that it can help with heart health and potentially cholesterol levels as well. And again, those bad LDL cholesterol levels. So yeah, ginger root, lots of benefits. Great to have. I like to have it with tea. Sometimes I'll chop it up and just add a piece to a smoothie. Gives it a nice taste, and you get all those nice benefits without losing even a little bit of the fiber that comes with it. But I agree with you, and with you, John. Eat fresh. Fresh is good to be healthy. And then sugar is our enemy. And then I'll just add one other thing too: sugar and salt. So sodium. Sugar and salt are the two things that are going to zap us of our energy the most. and dehydrate us, and even affect the nutrient uptake of certain vitamins and minerals. So sugar really plays no role in our overall health, and definitely not with weight loss, because that sugar is going to be stored as fat. It's a refined carbohydrate, so it's going to be stored as fat. It's burned very quickly. It's not something like an oatmeal, which is probably one of the exact opposites, a complex carbohydrate. So as you guys know, I've said this numerous times, sugar is not one of my favorites. It's very low, very low on the list. Very seldom do I eat sugar. If I'm going to have like a cheat day or throw anything in there where I can kind of just take it easy, a lot of the times it won't be sweet, so it won't be sugar, just because of the way it makes me feel, and it's just not worth it. I don't even really enjoy it, to be honest. Also keep garlic, ginger, and turmeric in the house. Very nice, Lauren. That's trifecta right there. Very good. Tons of benefits there. Tons of bioactive substances. Gingerol, allicin, turmeric, curcumin. Those types of compounds that you're not going to get from a lot of from any foods. Sulfur compounds from your garlic. Tremendous benefits. Some of my favorite. And like I said, I had garlic and turmeric yesterday. No ginger, but I have it here, and I'm sure I'll get to it at some point. But that's awesome, Lauren. Good for you. 5:17 p.m. in Liberia. All right, time for dinner. Awesome, Kuan. I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for your awesome questions. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I do appreciate the support, guys. I have to say, just coming in here, leaving the comments on the videos. The YouTube algorithm is it's the thing of it. It's more so of an anomaly these days. You never quite know how it's going to work. So leaving those thumbs up, leaving those comments, very much appreciated. I know it helps me with the algorithm. So if you are getting something out of the videos and you do like them, then I always do appreciate that. So thank you so much. But that's awesome. I love seeing where people are from. There's people from all over the world that are kind of getting the benefits from these videos. So that's a really good feeling as well. So thank you for pointing that out, Kuan, and everyone else. Thank you so much. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to hear them on specific foods or anything like that. I don't know if you guys if there's anyone specifically with weight loss goals, but like I said, weight loss or muscle gain or anything like that is right up my wheelhouse. That's probably the thing I specialize in the most, and that's actually what got me pretty much obsessed, and nutrition becoming a passion of mine. Something that I started researching even in my teenage years, just due to sports and all that good stuff. So if there's anyone specifically that has a question regarding that, then I'm more than happy to answer. All right, Tammy, thank you so much. Glad that you were able to stop by. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. And I should also mention too as well, guys, if you do enjoy the videos and you have, if you've been able to get something out of it, I don't expect super chats or anything like that. But the super chats, if you have a question, those questions will be answered first, and I'll make sure that I really go in depth on those. So again, just throwing that out there. I definitely don't expect it. Just you guys being here, showing up, asking your questions, and giving a thumbs up and watching the videos is more than enough. So again, just want to point that out, and I do appreciate all of you. Tammy, you have a great day. Kuan, you have a great day. And again, I appreciate all of you. And the videos are going to keep coming, guys. Like I said, I put one up just before I got in here on coconut milk, and I really enjoyed the one that I got up yesterday on boiling guava leaves. So That was an excellent one too, and I think a lot of you guys enjoyed those ones, and just the reaction that I got from those videos, that video, I really enjoyed. So if I just getting those thumbs up and seeing that it's appreciated and that people are getting a lot out of it, then that really makes me happy. And thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the thumbs up shout out. I do appreciate it. Will I be on tomorrow? Tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know if if I want to overdo it. I don't want to oversaturate it. But maybe a couple times a week, I'm thinking, Kuwan. It sort of depends with you guys. If you get sick of me coming on here too much, then we'll pull back. But if you guys are enjoying the discussions and everything like that, it's one of my passions, just to talk health, fitness, wellness, all that different stuff with you guys. So as long as you're not sick of me, then I have no problem getting on as often as I can. It might not be every day, but it could definitely be a couple times a week. So Sundays are good for me, and I know you guys might be off from work and everything like that too. John, if you have to go, then thank you very much for coming in. Liked and sub, thank you so much, John. I do appreciate that. And again, liking and subbing is all I couldn't ask for more. So I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Vitamix or Ninja blender for my fresh fruit. I just can't decide which blender to get. Okay, that's interesting, Lauren. I'll be honest. I can't really say much about the Ninja blender. I have never used it. I don't even know what that might look like. I'm trying to remember. From what I can remember, it's got some pretty good reviews. I use a Vitamix. That's why I can't really speak too much on the Ninja blender per se. To be honest, I don't think you can go wrong with any of them, with either of those. I think both really work well. I know the Vitamix for sure works great because I have used that, but I have not used the Ninja blender. Maybe price will come down to it, to be honest, because both seem to be great products. The Vitamix might be a little bit more, if I'm not mistaken. But the Vitamix has lasted me forever. So if you are paying a little bit more, I know that it's definitely gotten its bang for its buck, because I use it very often and it's held up amazingly. So I can't say enough about it. All right, Kuan, I can do that, or you just watch the channel. If you watch the channel, I'll always put sort of a day or so, about a day, where I'll give a heads up where I am going to do a stream, and then I do daily videos. So you'll get updates that way. Like I said, I'll usually try to spread it out where you're getting at least 24 hours notice before the next stream. And I'll usually throw in there something that I want to talk about a little bit. But it doesn't always have to be it's just related to that. Like today we're kind of talking about weight loss, energy boosting foods, but as you guys know, there's been tons of other questions in here, which I'm very happy to answer. So you guys can ask those questions as well. Sorry, 1 second, I just gotta fix my monitor here. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you find it informative and educational. That's my main goal. So thank you for pointing that up. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. If you guys can hear me, maybe give me a yes or a thumbs up. For some reason my monitor seemed to turn off. Not really exactly sure why. Sometimes those technical issues can just pop up out of nowhere. All right, Peep, let me get to you. You've been waiting a while for organic stevia. I'm a fan of organic stevia. From what I've read, it's a nice substitute to, say, like your sugar or your or even your Splendas or artificial sweeteners. So I don't use organic stevia. I will also say that. I'll usually drink my coffee just black. I do enjoy my coffee, maybe with a little bit of milk, 2% milk. If I do put it in there, then I'll have it that way. But I haven't had organic stevia, but from what I've heard, stevia is a great kind of sweetener substitute. The reason why I say that, just from what I've read, and again, I haven't used it, and because I haven't used it, I don't research it as much, right? But I don't think it has all those chemicals that that like a Splenda would have, or things like that. I believe it, like you said, it's more organic and more I guess sort of health conscious in that way. So, okay, and thank you Orion's Belt, and thank you Kuwan for letting me know that you guys can still hear me. Liberia. You know what? After this pandemic's done, I wouldn't mind traveling the world. I got a couple places in mind. I just got to save up. That's the only issue. But we've been locked down for so long, it'll be nice to actually get out there and enjoy the world a little bit, if you know what I mean. But I'm sure Liberia is very nice. I appreciate that, Kuwan. And all the best to you out in Liberia. Thank you so much for coming out. Lots of respect. All right, well, I want to get to a few more questions. Thanks, Peep. I love that. I haven't heard Tony the Tiger in forever, but I know exactly what you're talking about. You're great. Very, very cool. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all you guys so much. I can't tell you how much, just from doing this for years and years, and the views. I don't know what we're at in total views, but 50-ish million views, heading to 60 million. Just the fact that we're able to hit so many people and get so much good information out there, it's really it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling. And the videos, like I said, aren't going to stop. They're going to keep coming. So I'm really happy about that as well. And I think big things are going to happen this year, especially with the streams and everything else, being able to connect with you guys even more. All right, so it does seem like I lost the picture, I believe. So why don't we finish up here, guys? I'm not sure what happened with the signal or something like that. If there's any last second questions, please feel free to ask, because we're about to finish up here. Again, if you could give a thumbs up, that just lets YouTube know that you guys appreciate what we're doing here. So that's always greatly appreciated. But just by watching, I appreciate that as well. And if you haven't seen today's video, I think the coconut milk one was quite interesting. I had a ton of fun being able to research that one for you guys. So that one was fun. And then I think I'll do a bone video tomorrow. I've been working on that one for a day or two. So I think we're going to be ready to go with that one as well. But let's finish it up there, guys. Thank you so much again. Like I said, I'll give you guys a good heads up on when the next stream will be. Probably at least 24 hours again. That way you guys can kind of plan and, make sure, the time works for you and everything like that. Coconut water has tons of health benefits, Kuwan. Yes, and one of my more popular videos, I actually saw that I was doing my coconut milk video, just drinking a glass of coconut water. The electrolytes, the hydration, a little bit of nutrition in there is great. One of the best, actually, hydrating liquids that you can have. So, yeah, coconut water is great. I used to add it to my smoothies all the time. I have it in a little bit of time. So, it definitely has its health benefits. Just make sure you get the unsweetened, because there can be ones that have added sugar. I would stay away from that and just get the natural stuff. But yes, it does have health benefits. Absolutely. Great question. All right, guys. So let's end it there. I appreciate you all. thank you so much. We're going to do more and more of these. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I don't know why that happened. You never know sometimes with technology and all that good stuff. But hey, we're on here. We're able to talk. That's the important thing. And I'm able to connect with you guys and answer your questions. So thank you so much. Check out that coconut milk video if you can. I'd really appreciate that. If you're so inclined to, be on the lookout for another video tomorrow. I'll get that up for you guys. I think the bone health one will be interesting. And we'll just keep getting those videos up, and we'll plan on another one of these. If not tomorrow or the day after, then it'll definitely be, let's see, Monday, Tuesday, definitely at least one by Wednesday. So again, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you for all your great questions, and I look forward to doing this again with you all. Everyone take care, and we'll catch you, like I said, if not sooner, but by Wednesday. And we'll keep talking about health, wellness, and all that good stuff. So stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.